Sheila, how are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you, Greg?
Great. So here's the thing. Everyone gets a 10-day initiation, a trial period. And I've seen three episodes. And in my opinion, I think, without giving too much away, I think you're the most qualified to make it because of your experience as a truck driver. Can you explain how your years of experience as a truck driver has helped you as far as becoming a survivalist and just becoming more of a responsible human being, just that career path?
Well, being a truck driver, you definitely have to have, strength and endurance. It's like living in a house on wheels, and you're out there by yourself. You're in all the elements. You're dealing with, a lot of personalities when you're going to these different places and stuff. And so it's like living outside already. It definitely helped me with endurance. And just being able to take care of myself outside of the comforts of my home, the four walls of my home.
Yeah, also it's very interesting to see you out in the elements, you're digging the dirt and you're how much physical endurance did you need during these 10 days because you're being put to work along with the other initiates in this trial period.
Oh, absolutely. I won't say you necessarily have to be able to run a marathon, but you at least need to be able to keep up. You definitely need to have some energy, to be able to get out there and dig and build and contribute. But the beautiful thing also is there are different tasks and jobs that you can do while you're there, different things you can do, so you don't always have to be in the trenches. You
Yeah.
can do something else that's, less physical.
So I'm Filipino, and the first time I went back to the Philippines, I was in my teens, and I asked my relatives, I go, "Man, this heat, I cannot take this heat. I'm sure you guys are used to it by now." And
Mhm.
my grandfather said, "You never get used to it." So from your point of view, when you said ticks and spiders, I said, "No way, no how." Were you able to get used to that during those 10 days? Because you're building endurance.
No, I don't think you ever get used to it. I was covered enough to where I didn't get one on my body, but they were around me a lot. I did see them, and that was the first time I'd seen them, and it drove me crazy. So mentally, it really messed with me, but I was okay because I knew how to, keep myself covered and protected.
Speaking of messing with you, there is a section during your talk when you talk about AI that messes with me.
Mhm.
I have not used ChatGPT yet. I feel like
Mhm.
I'm one of the last people to actually use it. Can you speak to just your thoughts on AI, which I feel is very common sense and logical?
Ooh, um, I kind of have a balanced perspective. It's kind of a from a business standpoint, it could be beneficial to you, but from just like what is it? Regulated standpoint, it's frightening because you create these machines that are bigger than you, stronger than you, can think smarter than you, and have no emotions and no remorse. If those things decide that they want to, go offline and do their own thing and go against humanity, we're screwed. Because if they really look at the history of human beings and how we are, with each other and what we're doing to the earth and all that kind of thing, we know how we think about each other. What do you think they're going to think about us? And if they decide that we're no longer useful, then, they won't have any feelings, towards getting rid of human beings. We won't be necessary to them anymore. And so that's frightening, because if they turn on us, it won't be, any kind of grudge or anything. Is we're just of no use to them, and they won't have any feelings about it. That is scary,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Just from learning about your character on the series, just I love the fact that you have survival instincts where most people have complacency issues where they let other people make their own decisions for them before they're
Mhm.
unprepared. You're very prepared. When did that kind of mentality grow? Was it from you as how you were raised, or maybe when you became a truck driver? When did that instinct to survive and be prepared no matter what surface for you?
Well, I was poor growing up. And so survival was just in me. I had to and we worked together, but we didn't have a lot. And so we knew how to make do with what we had. And so that played a major role in me being able to survive. And so, and as I got older, I just kind of paid attention to the things that were going on around me. There was news playing in my household all the time. Go to my grandmother's household, there was news on. My mother's house, there was news on. Aunties, uncles, they always had the news on. And I never understood why, but it just they just always had it playing. And then as I got older, I started doing it, and I realized why. They were paying attention to what was going on around them. And so, but I didn't see anything in terms of, prepping or anything like that. But instinctively, they knew how to take care of the family. As I got older and I got on my own, started having children and things of that nature. As a mother, one of my biggest fears is, not being able to feed my family if something, catastrophic happened. And so I felt it was my responsibility to always be prepared for anything that I was capable of being prepared for, to take care of my children, because it would destroy me if something happened and my kids, come to me like, Mom, what are we going to eat? It just breaks my heart just to think of it.
I loved your dream when you talk about having big plot of land with the people that you love,
Hmm.
animals, a good supply of water and whatnot.
Hmm.
One thing is, do you believe, without giving too much away, in the idea of consensus, egalitarian, this everyone has a vote, or do you believe in sort of a hierarchy where there should be maybe leaders for different circumstances as opposed to sort of a unanimous vote in general as far as how to run maybe your own garden, one would say?
I believe in a balance. I believe in agreeing on what works for the group as a whole, but still being able to find something for those who may not agree with things, find something to help them as well, that works for them as well, keeping it equal for everybody. If there's something that they don't like, okay, let's see what we can do to make them feel better and things like that. So yeah, I believe in a balance.
My final question is a two-parter. First part is, what was the experience like, not just going on this new journey, but going on this new journey with cameras about? Was that a little bit hard to get used to? And the second part of my question is, just in broad strokes, what were the most important lessons you learned throughout this 10-day process?
It was very hard having cameras around me all the time, because I tend to speak my mind, and I was always worried about a hot mic. And I didn't want to offend anyone. But it was actually the perfect place to speak your mind. That's the difference between being there and being out here. Out here, everybody's watching, everybody's offended. If you post something on social media, they have something to say. There, you can be who you are and say what you want to say. And people are going to listen, and people are going to, respond accordingly. And you can talk it out. You can talk things out. The second part, the things that I learned a lot of skills that I hadn't already known. And so that was a beautiful thing. And I was really just encouraged to continue just be me, the free spirit that I am. That was an enjoyable experience. And to me, I'm on the right path of me being me. And there are other people out here that believe in being free spirited, and they're okay with that. And that's a beautiful thing.
Really, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. And thank you for getting me hooked on another show. Appreciate that.
Enjoy.
All right. You take care. You have a great day.
You too. Thank you.